Hello everybody out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie, and I am back with my favorite video of every month, and that is my TBR Star Hop, the game I play to choose which books I am going to read for the month. Now, last month, if you watched, was not nice to me, even a little bit. It was one of the worst months I have ever had for TBR Star Hop. I had 16 books on that list, and they weren't short books. Like, that was a pretty intense list that I had. So let's go ahead and look at how I did for last month. Okay, so first for the ones I don't own, we had Hellbent for a book box book. We had Tress of the Emerald Sea for a book with an epilogue. I had a mood read on there as well. I did not read any of those. So starting off really strong. Then we have Monstrous for a Wormhole pick, which I did not read. We have Learn My Lesson, which was for a Wormhole pick as well. Did not read. We have What Moves the Dead for a female author. I did read that one. We have Into the Labyrinth for a book under 300 pages that was self-published, which I did read. We have Silver in the Woods for a new to me author, which I also did read. We have Queen of Sorcery in the Belgariad for a Wormhole pick, which I also read. I'm gonna put down some of these. Okay, so we have The Witch and the Tsar for a book that started on page greater than 1, which I did read. We have Queen of Shadows for a audiobook with royalty, which I did read. We have The Priory of the Orange Tree for a unique magic system and a special edition, which I started. I am in that one right now. We have The Lost Metal. What was that for? Oh, that was the Black Hole pick for me, which I did read. We have Tower of Dawn, which also was a Wormhole or Black Hole pick. I don't remember which one, which I did not read. We have Sandman for a spinner wheel pick, graphic novel, which I did not read. And we have The Forgetting Moon for a hardcover, I believe, which I did not read. Blah. Okay, so I clearly failed for the month of January. Very obviously, there were several books unread, and it just was not even close to a success. So what I'm going to do this year, though, and this came from some suggestions from people in the comments of my last video of my last TBR when it was just so mean to me, right? They said, how about you give yourself a free pass on a month? So for the year of 2023, I'm going to give myself one free pass where I do not have to add a black hole to the board if I don't finish my TBR. Now, I don't get to remove black holes from the board either, but I don't have to add another one, which I think is going to be necessary for me because at this point there are 2 extra black holes on the board. So I am using my free pass for the year of 2023 in January. That's not good. That's not good at all, but we're going to do it. So January, we are not adding an extra black hole on the board. We still have 2, so it still could be pretty rough. It could be pretty rough, and I'm not anticipating it being super nice to me this month, but at least we don't have 4 black holes on this board. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into rule number 1. Fingers crossed that the board just decides to be moderately nice to me this month, and I can finish my TBR and start removing some of those black holes because they're starting to take over. Okay, here we go with the first roll. As we can see, we still have the same 2 black holes on the board, but we did not add another one because of my free pass. So let's hope that it's nicer to me than last month. Yeah. 7. Okay. Star, very nice start. And our prompt is buddy read. Okay, for the first roll, we got a star, starting off great. For that, the prompt is buddy read, and I chose to put on The Blood Trials by Annie Davenport. This one has been on my radar for so long. I have been really excited to start this book. I just really think this is one I'm going to absolutely love. It gives me kind of magical Hunger Games Red Rising vibes, and I absolutely love that premise of a book. I am so excited to jump into it. I am going to be buddy reading this with my friend Abby from the channel Abby Salter. I'll of course link her down below, but we decided we wanted to buddy read this one in the month of February, and then I think this is going to be a duology, and the second one is coming out in April, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put up here so you can see when the release date for the second book is. But this one is a girl who is competing in these trials to become, what is it called? Praetorian Guard. And so she's going to compete in these trials to become a member of that Praetorian Guard. I hear that they are brutal and it's just a kind of a fight to the death to get your spot. That's what I want out of this book so bad. So I am really, really excited to read this one. I'm so happy that I was able to fit it on the first roll. This is a very good start to the month. Okay, second roll. An 11, nice. And another star. Okay, going well so far. A hyped book. Then next roll, we got another star, and for that, the prompt was hyped, and I am going to go with one that was hyped a little while ago. This is not a new release by any means, but I'm going to be reading Ring Shout by P. Jelly Clark. I have heard amazing things about this book. I think it was just Shauna who was just raving about it and saying about how much she absolutely loved it, and I know that it was kind of all over BookTube for a while, and people were really, really enjoying it, and said it was just amazing, really well written, really impactful, so I'm really excited to jump into it. I don't know a whole ton about it, but I think it's kind of along the lines of the horror genre, which I don't like to go in knowing a lot. I could be wrong on this. Like, I could be very wrong, but that's kind of what I have gleaned from listening to people talk about it, and so I just would like to go in knowing less. But this one is going to go on here. I've been wanting to read it for so long. It's been on a lot of my TBRs, or at least on my mind for TBRs for a lot of readathons, so this is the month that it's going to happen. I don't own it physically, and so I am planning on listening to it on audiobook. Okay, we're coming up on the area of all the wormholes and black holes, so ooh, hopefully it's nice. 10, I have no idea. No, I got past both the black holes. And I have to go back. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So only the first one, we're still okay. Okay, well, we've hit a wormhole. We were past the black holes, and then we had to go backwards, back to the wormhole. It's fine. You know what? I feel like it could be worse. So I'm going to keep the good vibes going. We're going to pull out the wormhole jar. Those of you who don't know, this jar I have in all the series that I am currently in the middle of. And so it could be a series I don't want to read. It could be a series that I've actually already DNF'd, but it's still here in this jar. So I haven't pulled out any recently, but I have updated recently. So we'll see what I am able to get out of here. I honestly am not too fussed right now. There's not really any that I necessarily want. There's a few that I don't want, but we'll see. See what we get. Like, I'm good with whatever I've decided. I'm going to be good with it. All of our demise. I just put this one in for last month. Okay, this is a good choice. I'm not mad about this one. So, All of Our Demise is the second book in, I don't know if it has a name for the series, but the first book in the series is All of Us Villains. I did read it back in December, so this is actually coming up fairly quickly. But I am really happy that this one came up because I have read the first one so recently that it is fairly fresh on my mind. This is one that I am interested in continuing on with, so this was a good choice. It was only a wormhole, so we didn't go back too far, and I got a book that I'm actually happy about, and I am not mad that this is going on to my TBR at all. So yeah, All of Our Demise, this is, again, kind of like a magical Hunger Games, and a member from each of these magical families compete to get the high magic, this really powerful magic that is available there in their town for their family for the next, whatever, 20 or so years until the next competition happens. But this year the press have been alerted, and now it's kind of like a spectator thing, and so many people have come to see this competition happen, even though it takes place in a place where you really can't see it. But anyways, I'm really excited to keep going with this series. I did really enjoy the first one. I thought it was very interesting, and I was invested in the plot, and so I'm curious to see where this goes, because the first one definitely went a direction I was not expecting. Okay, hopefully it's nicer to us this time. 12. Ooh, I think that might be okay. I don't know, but that's a big number. We like it. Ooh, Woo-hoo. Oh man, oh, I felt good about that. That was good. Whew. Okay, a star. Audiobook, very doable. Okay. Okay, our next prompt, we got another star. And the prompt for that one was audiobook. And this one, I'm going to go with Emergency Skin by N.K. Jemisin. I really love N.K. Jemisin's writing. I have only read the 5th season series by her, the Broken Earth Trilogy, whatever. And I loved it. I thought it was one of the best series that I have ever read. And so I want to read more by her. And I feel like putting a little bit of a shorter book on here is going to help me be able to finish this, because now that I've hit a wormhole, I'm again a little nervous, right? I don't particularly like the spot I'm in right now freaked me out a little. So we're going to be reading this. I don't know what this is about. I know that this is a novella that was written by N.K. Jemisin, and that's all I know about it. I just want to read more by this author because she's one that I absolutely loved, and so I want to try more things from her, and this is nice and short and doable. So yes, Emergency Skin is going on the list. Okay, critical roll here. Let's be nice. 9. Hopefully that's good. No! How is that possible? It's like these two aren't even doing anything to me. It's my regular spots. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. I can't believe that just happened. We were doing so well. I was gonna be so happy with just one wormhole. And then the very last black hole. That one just hurt so much worse. I think it would just hurt less to hit one of the other black holes on the board. We actually haven't hit any spots on the board that are extra black holes. So none of these punishments come from the fact that I have not done well in the past. This is just the regular spots getting me. I don't even know how I feel about it at this point. I've accepted it. I am going to hope for the best. You know what? Maybe it'll pull out something good. Maybe I'll get a really interesting series that I just hadn't thought about continuing, and it'll pull it back onto something that I'm gonna read. You know, it could be good. This could be good. We're gonna stay positive. This is gonna be a good series. I know it. Here we go. Nuh-uh. No, I didn't. Do you know how many times? I don't think I have put this series onto my TBR in a year, but I'm pretty sure it has been on my TBR because of wormholes like 3 or 4 times in the last year. That is insane. Are there like multiple of this one in there? Because I swear I pick it more than others. Okay, well, here we go. The Powder Mage Trilogy, the third and final book in this trilogy, The Autumn Republic by Brian McClellan. This series is focused on a type of magic that has to do with gunpowder. And so if you are a powder mage, you are able to kind of control gunpowder, and that gives you a significant advantage in the wars that they're fighting. There are also gods that are coming back and being involved in this world, and there's just a lot of scheming and political intrigue going on. The first chapter of the first book in this trilogy, I think, is the best part of this whole trilogy. It was so engaging, so gripping. I was so invested at the very beginning. However, as it went on, I've become less and less invested, and there are some characters that I absolutely despise reading from their points of view. They drive me nuts, and it just, I can't do it. But I really want to finish this out. This was on my series to finish of 2023, so I guess maybe the wormhole jar is helping me out in that way. I was definitely not going to put it onto this TBR. But you know what? I don't know if I ever would have put it onto a TBR, so maybe I needed this. Maybe that black hole is really doing me a favor. Maybe. Okay, starting again from the beginning. 8. No. Man. And we're back at the beginning again. Love that for me. I don't even know why I put this away at this point. I mean, I might as well just keep it out. I didn't put the lid back on this time though, so I feel like that's something, right? not getting my hopes up too much. Okay, let's go ahead, see what we get. Come on, give me something good. Give me like a middle grade series. I could do a middle grade series. Sorry, I dropped the one I had. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is gonna be a good one. It has to be a good one. It's been so mean to me, it owes me. Ascender. Ooh, okay. This also was another series that I had planned on DNFing, and I really wasn't going to continue on with the series at all. But it is a graphic novel series. So even though I wasn't planning on continuing with it, it's not going to be very long. So I am, again, not mad about this. I'm going to actually put that one back in because if we have another Wormhole come up, I would like it to be in there. It's a graphic novel series and I have a feeling I'm going to need it. But the Ascender series is kind of a sequel series to the Descender series, which I read 2 years ago, I think, and really enjoyed. I loved it. I thought it was so good, so much fun. It was a sci-fi series, and it followed this young AI who was kind of very important to the, like, political maneuverings that were going on in this world. And then the Ascender series follows that, but I feel like this kind of verged over into a little bit more fantasy sci-fi with some kind of weird fantasy elements that I just was not feeling. So I was not planning on continuing on with the series, but you know, again, I'm not mad about it. It is a graphic novel. I can read it quickly, so having this added to my TBR from the Wormhole is not the worst. What is the worst is the fact that I am still at the very beginning of this game. How many books do we already have on here? Let me count. We already have 6 books on this TBR, and we are at square 0. This could be a rough month, but I have kind of padded it a little bit in anticipation because I feel like I have a little bit of PTSD from last month, and so I am anticipating it being mean. So I put some shorter books on there, so hopefully we can just get to the end now. Even if it's not fast, let's just not hit any more of the swirlies. Again, we're back at the beginning. Anything but an 8, really, I wouldn't be mad about. 7 again. Okay, we'll take it. And we get a star, and our prompt is a romance. Okay. Okay, we got another star. We've gotten all stars, and this one, the prompt is romance. And for this, I'm going to be reading Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is the second book in like the Brown Sisters series. It's more of a series of companion novels. I don't know if you have to read the first one before reading the second one, but if you read the first one, which is Get a Life, Chloe Brown, you don't need to continue on. It is a very well-contained story within the first one. But since this romance prompt came up and I do have the audiobook available from my library, I've decided I'm going to go ahead and continue on with this series. I have heard people say that they really love this second one in the series, and so I'm hoping that I will as well. This is just like an adult contemporary rom-com series. I liked the first one. It wasn't my favorite, but I am interested to see what I think of the second one. I have heard the way people talk about it, I feel like it might be one that I enjoy more, so we shall see. Hopefully I like it. I mean, if not, then I'll know for sure that I don't want to continue on with this series. But yeah, this one is going on the list. I think it'll be a nice, fun, quick read, and I can just listen to the audiobook while I do different things because it is a very like easily digestible story and I don't need to pay too close of attention. So yeah, Take a Hint, Dani Brown, going on the list. You know, it's not that I'm not getting big numbers, I'm just having bad luck. 6. I think that's okay, but really I don't know at this point. Barely okay. Man, I'm going through the star prompts. Treat your shelf. I am not sad about this. Okay, next one on the list, we got another star, which the prompt was Treat Your Shelf. I love this prompt. I think it's really fun to give myself the opportunity to just like buy myself another book, which I probably would just do anyways. I don't have a lot of like book buying bans that I put myself on, but I like it when it tells me to. I'm like, yes, definitely, I will do that. But this one is kind of like mood read where I can pick a book later and decide that this is what I'm going to buy, treat my shelf, and read. I think the one I'm probably gonna get is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I do want to get this edition that they have because I don't really like the previous cover that this book had, but I love this cover. So I think Treat Yourself is probably going to be Parable of the Sower, but then again, I can change my mind, and I will be going on a trip at the beginning of February, which I'm going to visit my sister, and we always go to a bookstore when I do that, so maybe I'll buy a book there. We shall see. I have no idea what number roll this is. 7. Fingers crossed. Woohoo! Okay. That was lucky. Another star, and I need a standalone book. That's nice. Okay, our next prompt is another star. We haven't gotten anything but stars in this game. That's crazy. But the prompt was standalone. And speaking of Octavia Butler, the book I'm going to put on here is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. This is a sci-fi, I believe, and I'm pretty sure it involves time travel and a woman that is going back and forth in time. I have heard such great things about this book. I've heard that it is very emotional and well written and just amazing. Plus, there is an adaptation that just came out or is about to come out on Hulu, I think. I'm not positive exactly what platform, but I really would like to read the book before watching the adaptation, and I have just had this, I've had this author in particular on my radar for a long time, but this book, I saw this cover in the bookstore, and I feel like once the cover was this one, I was so much more interested in reading it because I didn't really like the old cover. It kind of gives me almost like Hallmark vibes, which I'm pretty sure is not what this book is at all. So I really love this cover. I think it's beautiful, and I am much more interested in reading the book now. But yeah, this is going on my TBR. It's also fairly short, which is good because this is turning into a fairly long TBR. But also I'm just really intrigued by it. I think it's going to be a really good book. I think I'm going to be really invested, so I can't wait. Okay, I'm gonna check. Don't want a 2, 4, or 8. 2, 4, or 8 off the table. Okay, going for odd numbers. And 3. Fine, I'll take it. 3! Right in the barely safe zone. Holy cow, another star. A sci-fi. Okay, so another star we got, and the prompt is sci-fi. And for this one, I'm going to be continuing a series that I started quite a while ago, and that is the Binti series. I'm going to be reading Binti 2, and I think I'm going to be listening to it on audiobook, which I did with the first one as well. The first one follows this young girl who left her family and her community in order to go study at a university, and the entire story takes place pretty much on the ship while they're getting there, and they kind of have some very bad things happen on the flight. Her like spaceship flight there. They're going to a different planet. And I didn't absolutely love the first one. I felt like it was a little bit too short, a little bit too rushed, and I wasn't quite as invested as I would have liked to been, but I think maybe if I continue on with the series, get a little bit more into the story, I will like it more. I do find sometimes with novella series, the first ones either hit really hard and are amazing, or I just feel like they are too short and don't give me enough. So hoping I will enjoy continuing on with this series. So yeah, Binti 2 by Nadia Korafor. I don't know if it has a specific name, but if it does, it'll be up here. Also, it's very short, which I do need because this TBR is getting long. So a short book is necessary at this point because who knows, we still might hit more black holes. My poor little Millennium Falcon sitting in the barely safe zone. Okay, we can't get a 1, so yay. 5. We don't want a 5 or a 12. 5 or a 12 are no-goes. Nice. 6! Ooh, I like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 stars. Holy cow. I am just plowing through these star prompts. So I need a booktuber fave that's also a graphic novel. Okay. Okay, for this one, we had 2 stars, which is crazy. Like, all stars. We have gotten nothing but star prompts this entire game. But it is booktuber fave and graphic novel. And for this one, I'm throwing Monstrous on here. Again, I did not read it last month and I am really looking forward to it. I absolutely love this graphic novel series. I think it's so fun, so engaging. It's gorgeous. It follows this girl who has magical powers inside her. They're very dark and she's trying to learn to control and use them while a bunch of different sides of this huge war, these political factions are all after her to either kill her or to gain access to that power inside of her. I love it. It is fantasy. It's a very expansive world and I just absolutely love the series. It is so good and I definitely want to continue with it. So that one is going on here. I have heard a ton of booktubers talk about this one and really enjoy it. So definitely a booktuber fave and a graphic novel, fits perfectly and it's short, which again, I need. So fingers crossed that the rest of the game goes well for us. Okay, we are in a good spot. No 6s. Ooh, there's a fuzzy on my board. No 6s and we're good. Seriously, there's only one number I don't want. I think the board can be nice to me and give me a number bigger than 6. Is that too much to ask? Here we go. Yes! It is an 8. Oh, I am so happy. Boom, we are at the end. We're going to the spinner wheel. This could have been worse. I'm accepting this. It could have been worse. Yeah, I am so excited. We're done. We're at the final spot. I'm really happy about this. I feel like I was so worried that we're gonna have to go back to the beginning again. And I just don't think I could take that 2 months in a row. The TBR is already long for this month and we don't need to add more. We just don't. So we're gonna go ahead and spin the wheel. We're gonna see what we get. It's already over here. For those of you that don't know, I will spin the spinner wheel of prompts. Whatever prompt I get, I have 10 seconds to find a book that fits that prompt. Otherwise I have to spin again. If I spin the same one that I spun at last month's game, I also have to spin again. That was graphic novel. So let's do it. Series continuation. Okay. Oh, this is such a hard one. This shelf is hard. Okay, here we go. We're doing this one. We are doing this one. Okay. I feel like I always am a little out of breath after that, even though I didn't really do a whole ton. I think it's just like the adrenaline or something. But I am going to go with The Master of Jinn by P. Djeli Clark. Now, I know that this is kind of a series, but it's almost a series of like companion novels. So this had 2 novellas before it and then this one. But this is a kind of difficult shelf to find books off of, and I don't have as many books up here as I usually do to pick from, so we're going with it, and it counts. But this one is set in, I think, 1920s Cairo, 1912 Cairo, and there was a murder, I believe, that we are following. There was a murder of a member of this secret brotherhood dedicated to one of the most famous men in history. And we have our agent that we have followed in one of the previous novellas, and she is going to be trying to solve this murder. So this world is very interesting. There's kind of been portals opened to other dimensions, other worlds, and like magical creatures like Jinn have now entered our world. So I really enjoyed the first 2 novellas in this series. I thought they were fun, they were cute, they were funny, they had great humor, and they were engaging, and I just can't wait to jump back into this world. I've heard amazing things about this book, plus I absolutely love the cover. I think it is so beautiful. So this is a perfect one to go on there. It is not the chunkiest of books, so I feel really good about putting it on this list. I think that this is like the perfect pick for the final book on this TBR. I'm very pleased with this. Okay, so Here are the books that I own that are on this TBR, but for books that I don't own, we have Emergency Skin by N.K. Jemisin. For an audiobook, we have Ring Shout by P. Jelly Clark, which is for a hyped book, and we have Take a Hint, Danny Brown, which is for a romance. Those the only ones I don't own? No, there are definitely more. So I have Binti 2 on here for a sci-fi, and then I also have a Treat Your Shelf, which I am not 100% positive what I'm going to get, but I think Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler, but we'll see where that one goes. So there are 5 books on here that I don't own. 5 books on top of the ones that are on this list. Keep that in mind. But we have A Master of Jinn for a series continuation spinner wheel. We have Kindred, which is for a standalone. We have The Autumn Republic, which is for a Wormhole pick. We have All of Our Demise, which is for, again, a Wormhole pick. We have The Blood Trials for a buddy read, and we have Monstrous for a graphic novel series continuation. Oh, we also have the next book in the Ascender graphic novel series. So we have 6 books that are not on this stack. Holy cow. We have 12 books on this TBR. It looks so much more doable when I was looking at the stack. I'm like, oh, that's not horrible. That's doable. I mean, a little bit long, but totally okay. Lies. There are 6 more books that are not on here. I feel like this stack is trying to make me feel secure and confident when I should not be. Whew. I am really excited about a lot of these books though, and they're not quite as long as the books that were on last month's TBR, which is absolutely ridiculous and out of control. So I feel like I am much more confident in being able to finish these ones. But we shall see. I think I'm going to be kind of busy with school in the month of February, so that might play into it a little bit, but hopefully the fact that I have a lot of short books that I could knock out pretty quickly will help. Plus they just look good. Like, don't those look like such good books? I'm just really looking forward to all of these. Okay, those are the books on my February TBR. Star Hop was not nice to me this month. It wasn't as mean as last month, but it was not nice. I did not appreciate 3 wormholes, well, 2 wormholes and a black hole. I would not have put any of those books onto this month's TBR, but you know, here we are. I guess that's kind of the point of the wormhole jar, which is good. It makes me continue on with series, but overall, I think it's doable. I know last month I went into it almost knowing that I was not going to finish the books, but this month I think I can do it. I know there are a lot of books. 12 is a lot, but I feel fairly confident in the month of February. This month, I think I'm going to do it. I feel like this is going to be a TBR that's long, but it's one I'm going to knock out. I am confident in it. It's going to happen. Let me know down below if you think I'll be able to finish this month's TBR. I feel like this one is much more plausible than last month, so I'm interested to see what you guys think. And as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, see how I did, see how my next month goes, definitely hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new content, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.